Fresh sheets, your favorite song on the radio, a really big hug, Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock. These ordinary occurrences happen all day, every day, yet we often fail to acknowledge them during the course of our busy schedules. We forget to realize how good that little cup of coffee is and the happiness that it adds to our day. I learned to appreciate the ordinary this past summer, when instead of viewing this same sleepaway camp I had attended for 8 summers through the eyes of a camper, I viewed it through the eyes of a counselor. When I was 8 years old, I attended sleepaway camp for the first time. I was in bunk 4. 9 summers later, I was back in bunk 4, but this time experiencing camp for the first time as a counselor. And when I was a camper, I was always looking forward to the next big thing, like the big football tournament in the middle of camp or color war breakout the last week of the summer. But this past summer, everything changed because I became mom to my 10 8-year-old campers. And I was there for my girls for everything, from early morning wake-ups to late night nerves, tummy aches, headaches, throat aches, the list goes on and on. But homesickness was by far the hardest thing to cure. Why? Well, my girls hadn't learned to love camp yet. So it was up to me to teach them to love it as much as I do. But telling them to wait 3 weeks until the big football tournament didn't help the tears in the moment. But pointing out the little happy things that occurred every day, that helped. Because it didn't matter if it was rainy or if it was sunny, the view of the lake as we walked to an activity is always beautiful. So I found myself encouraging my girls to notice and appreciate the smell from the dining hall when it's cookies for dessert, or the view of the sunset outside of our bunk every evening, or even the little flowers in the cracks of the pavement, much more than I did the color war breakout the last week of camp. And I came to realize that it's the ordinary things that make camp extraordinary. And when I came back after this past summer, back into the real world, I realized that it's the ordinary things that make life extraordinary. I just had to open my eyes, my counselor eyes. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. The extraordinary, the extraordinary. You see, at the end of the day, the word we use to describe the breathtaking, the marvelous, the insane can simply be separated to mean extra usual, extra average, extra normal. But if we just open our eyes to acknowledge the simple things in life, we can realize that it's those simple things that bring us extraordinary happiness. William Martin, historical author, once wrote, "Do not ask your children to strive for extraordinary lives. Help them instead to find the wonder and the marvel of an ordinary life. Show them the joy of tasting tomatoes, apples, and pears. Show them the infinite pleasure in the touch of a hand, and make the ordinary come alive for them. The extraordinary will take care of itself." Our lives are like a timeline, a bunch of dull, ordinary moments and things paving the way for extraordinary checkpoint. And people stop caring about the path because they're only looking forward to the next big checkpoint. But think about the endless possibilities and the bottomless happiness that could occur if we made the ordinary come alive and worked to make every part of our timeline, even one as simple as admiring a cloud in the sky, something extraordinary. Because there's no limit to the amount of extraordinary we can experience if we strive to see the simple pleasures in life. And not only can this help you, but it can help others to find and embrace the ordinary in life too. And this was true for the camp. The big extraordinary days, they took care of themselves, My girls were grinning from ear to ear because they finally got to experience the extraordinary they'd been looking forward to the whole summer. But helping my girls to find the wonder in the way the tie-dyed shirts hung in arts and crafts, that got them through the dull points in the path, the lulls in the timeline. So I challenge you to switch from your camper eyes to your counselor eyes and acknowledge the beauty in the smell that comes from the dining hall when it's cookies for dessert, or the view outside of the bunk when it's a pretty sunset, or even just the flowers in the cracks of the pavement. Acknowledge and realize the relaxation that takes over your body when you climb into a bed with fresh sheets, or the freedom that comes with belting out your favorite song, or the comfort that you feel when you get a really good hug, or simply the sigh of relief you feel on a Friday at 4. Acknowledge the ordinary, embrace it, cherish it, and realize how special it is, because it really is the most extraordinary things in life that bring the most extraordinary happiness. Thank you.